Okay. Got my Puma socks. But moving on. So let me just get straight into this. This is going to be kind of heavy, so I hope y'all can keep up with me. Let me or allow me to unlock your brain so it can walk with me. So listen. Mind is the wind, able to travel freely when let out of its container. Blood is the water, able to move freely when it's not blocked or clogged. Body is the earth, the most fragile part of ourself that holds us here. Okay, so let me revisit this. Mind, blood, body is wind, water, earth. Yeah. So I heard someone saying the brain was controlled by the skin above it. I thought, okay, so what is the skin mostly controlled by? Is it electric current or water? Well, I personally believe probably water. I also know that sonar is able to use water to travel. Okay, so water is in control of the skin above or over the brain. Membrane, I believe. Right, so is the skin the brain of the body or is it the water? Right, so we know that if we go without water too long, we will die. Okay, so if we are in a great water deficit, our brain will be compromised, become ineffective, and not function properly. Okay, so we have a mind behind the mind. But what runs the body? Water. Once in our body is the brain power. So our brain under our skull is somewhat of a computer that without power is dead. So the water is the power of the electromagnetic organism that encased in a hard shell. Right. So in case you are wondering, I'm not reading this from an outside source of myself. This all came to me after getting some good old-fashioned sunlight. So if you find something you feel to be a discrepancy, I want you to realize we, as a whole, are undereducated. Even the scientists who are held in the highest regard are winging it, kind of making it up as they go along and naming things whatever they feel like. Guesses, hypothesis, and this just sounds good enough to believe. So let's talk about blood. When we see it, it is always red, but it's blue until it hits the air. But what the hell is blood? Air, water, and earth, aka protein. We can look at protein as food, so air in our blood, yes. This is why if you've ever seen a junkie who shoots needles, if they get some air in their vein, death awaits. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. When unnecessary air gets in the blood, it causes a tide, a ripple, until you die. If you go to the beach and an unnecessary air comes to the area of the water, it causes a tide, a ripple until it dies down. So you and the water are connected, even though you don't know it. So, okay, let me take a second. So the air and the water, so that's the air and the water's connection. So earth, I would say, would be food. So we get our protein from foods. Some animals don't eat meat at all. So how do they get their protein? I would have to say plants. I'm not going to go into that. Okay? I'm not going to go into that. So when you bleed out and die, what is this? What what you call blood, once again, is mainly water with the perfect balance of air with proteins from your food. So we can go over 30 days without food unless we are already malnourished. So when we are bleeding to death, that's not the cause being. So when we are bleeding to death, that's not the cause being a lack of protein. Okay, so air, when we are bleeding to death, it does make it harder to breathe because we are losing air in our blood, causing an imperfect balance of air in our body. But this is the bombshell. Water. We are only able to go at least a few days without any form of water, meaning any product that has no water in it, which I must admit almost everything has some water in it. So when we are bleeding out, we are losing all of our water. We are becoming dehydrated. We are literally leaking water, air, and earth, protein, aka when a person takes a crap on himself. This is Master and Teach Virgo, and I had a couple mistakes in there, but keep rocking with me, y'all, because you know I go back and fix it up if it's not up to my or your standards. Master and Teach Virgo checking in with my blood theory. One more time for the Puma socks. Hey, hey, gone.